Welcome back, coin lovers. That old Lincoln wheat penny in your collection might be worth far more than 1 cent. Some of these coins, thanks to rare mint errors, key dates, and historic value, have sold for thousands, even hundreds of thousands. In this video, we reveal the most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies ever discovered. Let's begin the hunt. The 1936 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark may look like just another old cent from your change jar. But once you understand what could be hiding beneath its circulated surface, your jaw might just hit the floor. This coin, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is one of those vintage American coins that holds untold value for the sharp-eyed collector. And while it's easy to think of it as just another wheat penny, the surprising truth is that certain varieties of this coin have sold for thousands of dollars, even in circulated condition. First, a bit of background. The year 1936 was the heart of the Great Depression era, and coins from that time carry a sense of American history with them. Over 309,001,936 wheat pennies were minted in Philadelphia alone, which might make you think they're all common. But here's where it gets exciting. Despite those high mintage numbers, some ultra-rare errors and varieties have made this date one of the most sought-after Lincoln cents in circulation. One of the biggest shockers? The 1936 double die obverse, one of the most famous and valuable error coins ever discovered. On this rare variety, you'll see clear doubling in the words, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1936. It's bold, it's obvious, and it's rare. If your coin has this doubling, even in a circulated condition, it could be worth $1,000 to $3,000, and in higher grades, collectors have paid well over $10,000. That's right, a single 1936 penny, the kind that might be sitting forgotten in an old drawer, could be worth more than a luxury vacation. But that's just the beginning. There are also more subtle double die varieties, sometimes called Class 2 or Class 3 doubles. These aren't as dramatic but still bring in $100 to $500 depending on condition and visibility. Add in minor mint errors, like die cracks, off-center strikes, clipped planches, or lamination flaws, and you're looking at serious collector demand. Some off-center 1936 wheat pennies, if the date is still visible, have fetched $250 to $750. Even without errors, condition matters, big time. While your coin is circulated, if it has decent detail, sharp lettering, and strong wheat stalks on the reverse, it still carries more value than face. But here's where it gets wild. In uncirculated mint state, a 1936 wheat penny can be worth $50 to $150, depending on grade. But in the top-end, near-perfect condition, MS67 red, this coin is sold for over $7,000 at major auctions. That's a mind-blowing price for a coin that originally bought a stick of gum. The 1936 wheat penny is also a magnet for collectors because it was one of the earliest Lincoln cents that marked the beginning of better quality minting practices. That means high-grade examples from this year are rarer, and that rarity fuels intense bidding wars in the coin market. And let's not forget the emotional side of collecting. Imagine the hands this coin passed through in the 1930s. Kids buying penny candy, families scraping together change during hard times, workers getting paid in coins during the toughest years of the Depression. This isn't just copper. It's a piece of living history, and that gives it depth, story, and soul. Something collectors, especially those in the 50 to 75 age group, truly treasure. So take a closer look. Examine the lettering, the date, the fine lines around Lincoln's coat and hair, the wheat stalks on the back. What looks like an ordinary penny might just be the key to unlocking thousands of dollars. Your 1936 wheat penny might be circulated, but if it carries a rare error or hidden variety, you could be holding onto a coin that collectors would fight to own. In the world of numismatics, nothing is ever just a penny. Sometimes it's a $5,000 surprise, sitting quietly in your hand, waiting to tell its story. This is where things start to feel almost unreal. A 1926 Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark, sitting in good condition. And it might just be one of the hidden gems in your collection. At first glance, you'd think it's just another old copper coin, maybe worth a few cents. But here's the shocker. This specific penny, depending on its variety, condition, and a few secret details, could carry value well into the thousands of dollars. That's right. A coin that's nearly 100 years old, often overlooked by the casual eye, might just be the one that keeps collectors up at night. This 1926 wheat penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which explains the absence of a mint mark. Over 157 million of these coins were minted that year. So yes, it's not the rarest in raw numbers. But in the coin world, it's not always about quantity. It's about survival and condition, eye appeal, and those rare and elusive minting errors that send prices skyrocketing. Your coin is in good condition, and that alone is a big plus. The date is clear, the wheat stalks are still visible, and Lincoln's features haven't been completely worn down. In this state, the coin already holds collector interest. Even a common 1926 wheat penny in good condition fetches $2 to $8. But here's where it starts to get exciting. When you go up just 1 or 2 steps in preservation, even a coin graded in fine or very fine, the price can jump to $15 to $40. A coin in extremely fine condition? Now you're talking $60 to $100 and up. But here's where your jaw might drop. If your coin displays a vibrant original red color with minimal contact marks, and it's graded MS65 red, the value can hit $2,500 or more. And at the absolute top of the scale, MS66 red or higher, auction records show this penny has sold for an unbelievable $10,000 to $14,000. Let that sink in for a second. 1 cent, a humble piece of copper, selling for the price of a used car. And it's not fantasy. It's happening right now in real auctions. And then there are the error coins, the true wildcards. Ever heard of a 1926 penny with a double die obverse? It's rare, but it exists, with clear doubling on the date and inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust. One of these in a higher grade can pull in $500 to $3,000. And don't forget about die cracks, off-center strikes, or lamination errors. Those strange-looking flaws that collectors crave. Some of these oddities can add hundreds of dollars to the value instantly. What makes this coin even more special is its place in American history. The year 1926 was part of the Roaring Twenties, a time of jazz, Model T Fords, flapper dresses, and silent films. Holding this penny is like holding a piece of that roaring, transformative era. It's not just money, it's a time traveler in your pocket, connecting you directly to a century-long story. For older collectors, especially those aged 50 to 75, this coin represents nostalgia and heritage. Maybe you remember these coins from your childhood. They showed up in lunch money, piggy banks, and penny jars. But now, those same coins, if preserved, rare, or flawed just right, could be worth more than gold. So look again. Examine your 1926 wheat penny closely. Check for the luster, the crispness of Lincoln's coat and beard, the fine lines on the wheat stalks. It may appear modest, but hidden within could be a $1,000 surprise or a once-in-a-lifetime $10,000 jackpot. In the thrilling world of coin collecting, sometimes the quietest coins carry the loudest stories and the biggest shocks. The 1947 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark might look like just an old copper coin with a red and dark shade from years of age. But behind that worn surface could be a jaw-dropping story that few collectors ever expect. This coin, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, doesn't bear any mint mark, which was standard for Philly at the time. But here's the truth. While millions were made, a few extremely rare and shocking variations have surfaced that now sell for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, sparking excitement across the coin-collecting world. Let's start with a little history. After World War II, America was entering a new age. In 1947, the U.S. Mint continued producing coins using 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. The classic bronze alloy used for Lincoln cents since 1909, except for the brief switch to steel in 1943. That year, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 190 million Lincoln wheat pennies. A big number, right? So you'd think they're all common. But the reality is, not all 1947 cents are created equal. One of the first things collectors look for in a coin like this is the color and luster. While your coin shows signs of age, with red and dark shading, that unusual toning can actually be a huge positive especially if it happened naturally over time. Some coins develop deep, rich toning that collectors absolutely love. And if the red shade is mixed with original mint luster or has that unmistakable natural oxidation from decades of storage, it can easily bump the value up, sometimes to $75 to $200 just for unique eye appeal alone. But what really sets coins apart is errors, and the 1947 wheat penny is no stranger to them. One of the most valuable and shocking errors found in this year is the doubled die obverse, where the coin was struck with a die that shifted between impressions. This creates a noticeable doubling on letters or numbers, especially In God We Trust, Liberty, and the date 1947. If your coin has this doubling and it's visible even under magnification, you might be holding something worth $500 to over $2,500. Yes, even in a circulated state. Now let's talk about striking errors. A broad strike error, where the coin is struck outside of its normal collar and ends up looking stretched or misshapen, can bring $150 to $400 if it's clear and dramatic. A die crack, where the minting die develops a fracture and transfers that flaw onto the coin as a raised line, is another in-demand error. And depending on size and location, it can push value from $50 to several $100s. And if you've got a clipped planche error, where a small crescent-shaped section is missing due to a misfeed of the coin blank, the value can skyrocket. Collectors love these striking anomalies. A clean, original clipped planche on a 1947 penny could bring $200 to $800, depending on its shape and how visible the coin details still are. Now here's where things really heat up. A tiny handful of 1947 pennies were struck on foreign coin blanks, either by mistake or during transitional runs at the mint. These wrong planche errors are extremely rare and highly sought after. One example, struck on a silver dime planche, sold for over $4,000 at auction. Yes, that's thousands of dollars for a penny that simply ended up on the wrong metal. Even a regular 1947 Lincoln wheat penny, in mint state 67 red, meaning a nearly perfect coin with full red original luster, has sold for upwards of $4,500. While your coin is circulated and toned, if it has strong details, minimal wear, and good eye appeal, it could still grab interest, especially if it has one of those rare errors lurking beneath the surface. So the next time you pick up a dark-toned old penny like this, remember, it might be more than just copper. It might be a coin with a hidden history, a rare mistake, or a one-of-a-kind appearance that collectors can't resist. And in the world of numismatics, where small flaws mean big money, your 1947 wheat penny might be hiding a $1,000 surprise, waiting for the right collector to discover its true value. Keep your eyes sharp, because this is where everyday coins become extraordinary treasures.